southern hemisphere, trying to jump from continent to continent, mapping it out on Google Maps, and then mapping it out on the flat earth map, and realizing that the flat earth map showed the routes to make sense and the Google Maps didn't. And the way they were trying to hide these ridiculous routes was with fake flights. Fake non-stop flights that aren't real and you can't get. This video will just focus on some of the changes that took place since then. Like Fare Compare had to change their website and their flight search format. That happened like a couple weeks after the video came out. Also, some of the non-stops that they had out there disappeared from the searches as they were trying to figure out what to do, I'm sure. Sometimes they were in the searches, sometimes they weren't. And then also now they've added some new fake flights, so I'll go over those. And yes, even though it was a daily fight with shills and it wasn't fun. I blocked over 100 of them so far. Daily fight for 2 months, still happening. Because this is a huge lie, and they're trying to keep this one a secret. And this lie in particular really pissed off a lot of people, including a lot in the airline industry, because this lie is one of the big ones propping up the flat earth lie. And this lie exposes the flat earth a lot faster than people are ready to have it exposed, including a lot of flat earthers. And I'll probably make another video on that another time. Proof! Where is your proof? How many times did I hear that? Proof is in the logic, first of all. If you know the earth is flat like I do, then logically these are not real flights. But I know people need more proof than that. Besides the actions that I've seen on this video since then, which also prove it to me. But here's how we get real proof and expose it. Calling out to friends in the southern hemisphere. We need your help. Show up to these airports and look for the gate of these fake flights, and I bet you won't find one. And if you do find one, I bet there won't be a plane pulling up or any people lining up for it, because they can fake these flights to a certain extent, but they can't fake it that far. So let's expose it. Let's expose fake flights and the flat earth.
The seatbelt sign is on!
First, please make sure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. Seatbelts can be purchased for $5. To fasten, insert the metal fitting into the buckle and tighten the buckle by pulling the loose end away from you. To release, purchase a release flap for $7. Now I know what you're thinking. We've never paid for seatbelts before. Once we've reached our cruising altitude, your flight attendant may or may not go down the aisle with snacks. If she chooses to, each passenger will be given a single peanut.
Alright, this is Expedia, and it's a Sydney to Santiago search. And I can show you that every single one of these options on this page, which is 15 or 16, is fake. So we know this one is fake. This one is the non-stop from Sydney to Santiago, Qantas 27. Sometimes it shows up in the search, sometimes it doesn't. This one is fake. It used to only be available 3 days a week. Now it's available, I think, 4 days a week, or so it says, but this one is fake. 12 hours and 40 minutes for that flight. Nope.
You'd think after all these years someone would listen to you.
Oh, well, airport management, the FAA, and the airlines. Oh, cheats and liars. All right, let's get out of here.
The flat earth is the biggest lie of all time. And they've kept it going for hundreds of years now. And the way they do that is with a lot of supporting lies. And one of the supporting lies has to be fake flights. And I can tell you right now that makes them nervous, because this exposes the flat earth faster than they know it's about to be exposed. So how far would they go to make you believe that these non-stop flights are actually real? Well, this is how far they'll go.
It was a colourful start for QF Flight 28 to Santiago, with Chilean dancers performing their national dance at Sydney Airport, giving passengers on the plane an exciting send-off for the 13-hour non-stop journey to this new Qantas destination. And guess who was there to meet them on arrival?
Good morning.
Yes, none other than John Travolta, the airline's ambassador at large in his pilot's uniform. Even workers on the ramp strained to get a look at the famous actor, who later spoke at a packed media conference.
Two wonderful countries being able to come together with one flight, a non-stop flight from Sydney to Santiago. Simple trip.
Do you see a plane out there, do you? Huh? We are not going anywhere until there is a plane out there.
So, that one is fake, and every single other one of these ones is fake also.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
No matter what the first part does, because all these flights eventually take off from Auckland and go to Santiago, and that we've already shown is a fake flight.
Do you see a plane out there, do you? Huh? We are not going anywhere until there is a plane out there.
You can't do it. So, all you really need to see, this is that 11-hour, 20-minute flight for 6,000 miles, supposedly. But not on the flat earth map. All you need to know is that this is the same flight that's going to Auckland, 4:15 to 12:35, and you can see that all of these flights end at 12:35, no matter what the stops. This one goes through Brisbane first, so is this one, Melbourne first, so those parts can be real. I'm saying the Auckland to Santiago portion is not real. And see, they're all, so all of these flights right here on this page are fake. So whatever happens, I'm sure you try to book one and it says, oh jeepers, nothing's available. Here's your next option to either Vancouver, San Francisco, or LA.
It's an entirely different kind of flying, altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of flying.
Here's Flight 800. This is the one that I'm talking about, the Auckland, 6,000 miles, Auckland to Santiago. Supposedly leaving every single day. Now there's another flight. Flight 1316 wasn't in the first video. Now it's a new flight, supposedly. But I'll show you, they just copied this flight. So it's just another fake flight. You can look here. 4:15 departure time every single day of the week, so they both leave at the exact same time, except for this one. This one gets there in 10 hours and 15 minutes, and this one gets there in 11 hours and 20 minutes.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
So yeah, this one, same jet, same seats, all that stuff. So now they're just getting sloppy. So now there's two fake ones, and you can see that Flight 27 didn't come up. We can close these up and I'll show you that there's no non-stop in this. So interesting. And here's your dead giveaway. The Auckland flights, these are the two fakes, 813.16, 7,337 miles. Your next options, double. goes all the way to 15.7. So you're either flying, there's one flight that takes you to San Francisco, then Houston, and then to Santiago. There's two different flights to LA that either take you to Atlanta or Houston and then Santiago. And then there is one flight to Vancouver, and then you have a couple of different options, but
I can't take much more of this. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Shayna, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into.
The last time the flight is delayed!
alright, here we are, Johannesburg to Perth. And I've opened up all the real flights. But we'll go over the fake ones. This one is real to Singapore. And here's the flat earth map that I used to map out the Johannesburg to Perth flights. And this flight right here from Johannesburg to Singapore to Perth, almost a straight line, and it's 7,800 miles. So that's where I'm getting that 5161 cannot be a real flight. Also, all these Sydney flights are fake. They disappeared from the search altogether the other day, but they're back today. It's almost a straight shot on the flat earth map from Johannesburg to Singapore to Perth. And this is 7,803 miles. So it's close to 8,000 miles, not 5,161. So this flight right here, 280, South African Airlines, is a fake. And that was in the first video.
Do you see a plane out there, do you? Huh? We are not going anywhere until there is a plane out there.
You'll see a lot of these QF64, Qantas 64, all of those are fake. Those are all to Sydney. The first flight is to Sydney, 6:10 p.m. You'll see all of them are leaving at this time. So whatever the rest of the flight is, doesn't matter, because the first flight part is fake. So this is a fake listing.
Chicken or fish?
Chicken or fish?
You see they're listing it at even the one stop, 88.82, which is only 1 mile less than the two stop. Amazing. But yeah, this flight to Dubai, real, and that is 9,597 miles. Johannesburg, Dubai, Perth. And this one is to Abu Dhabi International, and this one's real too. But all the QF64s are fake, because this first part of the flight, Qantas 64, 6,847 miles. It's a lot longer than that. And all the Sydney flights weren't even on the search the other day, about 2 or 3 days ago. Today they are. So, yep, there you have it. And you can see I'm not using any dates in this search, so that way it pulls up everything. And I'll show you. I've got everything checked over here, so any flight, any stop, these are all the different airports. Alright, well, thanks for tuning in, and cheers to all the new subscribers. Welcome aboard. I kind of took a break there for a while. Chalked that up to partially summer finally hitting where I live, and also being a little overwhelmed by one video I made in particular. And now I must be a glutton for punishment making another. But along those lines, I'm not going to argue about anything really. You can do your own research to find out about the flat earth. There's a lot of great videos out there made by other folks, and that's how I learned about it.
When I first heard this flat earth subject, I dismissed it without even giving it a second thought. But more recently, at the beginning of 2015, I ran across a few flat earth videos again. And while looking into the fake moon photos circulating around, I saw that people were claiming that the images from Earth from space were fake as well. Pretty soon the flat earth subject became viral online. And after looking at the Apollo missions one night and coming to the conclusion that they were nothing more than a huge con game, it jarred my memory about something. And for a very specific reason, I decided to look deeply into the flat earth without just dismissing it blindly as so many do. Why did I look into it this time? Well, I do pray for knowledge and wisdom and discernment, but maybe the recent Apollo footage I watched helped. However, I live near a very large lake, Lake Ontario, and I happen to remember going to the beach as a kid and looking across the lake and seeing New York State coast off in the distance. I never ever thought anything about it ever, except I remember it being there when I went to the beach. Now, I've been to that beach 100 times over the years. And once this topic gained more prominence in early 2015, the first video I saw explained the curvature of the Earth and what it's supposed to be in inches per mile. And it resonated with me because I remember that I could see clear across the lake to the other coast, something that broke all the sphere-Earth rules. So with NASA fakery on my mind and the memory of seeing this coastline that supposedly was too far below the horizon for me to be able to see it due to the curvature of the Earth, I re-examined the flat Earth theory. And as unbelievable as it seemed, it started to make a lot of sense, especially since I did distinctly remember being able to see that far coast basically anytime I was at my local beach. And as I've said, I've been there hundreds of times over the years. But even so, I went back to the beach recently and stood at the shore. I looked south and guess what? I could see the New York State coastline just like I remember. Now, I googled the distance and it was approximately 36 miles. I learned what the curvature of the Earth is supposed to be exactly at that distance, and according to the people that believe in the sphere, I found out that the coast should have been buried below my ability to see it by almost 900 feet. That part of the New York State coast had a top elevation of less than 300 feet. So that left at least a huge 600-foot discrepancy, and even more because I could see some of the height of the far shore. Was something really wrong with the reality that they've been selling us ever since we were born? Well, I ended up becoming a little fixated on proving or disproving the concept. And at first I truly thought disproving the flat Earth would be rather easy. I thought there had to be a reasonable explanation why I could see so far beyond the so-called curved barrier. I learned about light refraction and superior mirages. I learned about perspective and horizons. I learned about how our eyes work. I viewed dozens of similar experiences on YouTube. I listened to experts and people who thought they had logical but spherical explanations. In fact, I tried for a few months to debunk the concept and just couldn't. The more I looked into it, the more sense it made, and the less likely that the sphere model we've been spoon-fed since birth was a reality. It's just flat out wrong. And as more people shared their experiences and proofs online, it only added to my growing, pretty much unwavering belief that the world is not what we've been told. And learning about how our eyes work and how perspective work helps a lot with understanding sunrises and sunsets and ships disappearing hull first at sea and other supposed sphere-Earth proofs. I can't say for certain what shape the Earth is or how big it is, or if there's an Antarctic ring or a barrier beyond it, or if it's an infinite plane. Maybe everything we theorize is not complete. There are so many possibilities that it blows the mind, and the flat Earth has no real complete standard model because it's all based on us finding out things for ourselves. We agree on the facts and certain basics, but the rest is only hypothetical even if it seemingly makes sense. And as the evidence mounts for both the flat Earth and against the sphere, I wanted to create a special place where folks can learn and share what they've learned with other supporters. Differences of opinion are certainly going to come forth and should be expressed openly. But remember that the goal of my videos and their corresponding threads is to provide the opportunity to use each of us to learn and grow in any area that any of us has a problem in. If there is a thing you can't understand, then ask. Someone will have an opinion and we can go from there. If you have a point to make against what is considered an accepted flat Earth fact, please provide any relevant links or supporting proofs or videos. I am currently under the impression that the entire space program, even low Earth orbit, and all that is there, is really just a sleight-of-hand trick by a group of illusionists that have swindled the public, the governments of the world, the media, and us into believing a lie. Everybody, a small group of corporations and cabals have almost complete control over the entire financial, educational, high-level governmental and media systems, leaving it up to real armchair scientists and normal people that can critically think and recreate experiments themselves to
whatever, I do what I want.
Global resistance. Where's my motherfucking soldiers at? It's time to strap up and go to war, motherfucker. We're gonna bring it right to the motherfucking front line.
It's like we're We're living in a cage with invisible walls. The wicked zeitgeist of life making grown men crawl on their knees begging please save us from the boogeymen funded by the CIA, funneled through Arabian banks like a shank to the neck. They hit you from the back, no sweat. Hold check and watch us shake and take away your freedom. You really don't need them when you're tucked away safe and protected by FEMA. Then you must be a dreamer like the great pretender. Ask the Second Amendment why I'll never surrender, but I'll never plead the Fifth. When it comes to September, I'ma yell it from the roof and expose the agenda. It's time to wake up and open your eyes to the matrix. This is going out to the truthers and patriots, living free and dying hard, speaking through battle scars.
Astronauts to the moon.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to reality.
What's going on, everyone? It's Jaronism, back with another video for you today. Wanted to talk a little bit about Antarctica. So recently, someone who has been studying flat Earth decided to look down into Antarctica, and he found out some things that he did not know.
Because I've been concentrating on Antarctica, I started looking into it. I've never really had the compunction to investigate Antarctica before.
So I guess he had done months of searching and studying flat Earth, but never got around to looking into Antarctica. So he says,
it's the first time I've really looked into these maps. And it seems that everybody, including the Royal Tub-Thumping Brass Band, has marched through Antarctica, and the flat earthers don't know about it.
As soon as he did, he saw that flights took place that go across it. He saw New Year's Eve parties. He saw tourists. And so he came to the conclusion that any good researcher would have come to, that all the flat earth researchers are stupid or they're lying. That's a good conclusion, huh, mate? Well, let me fill you in on a little research on Antarctica that I did. And maybe if you're the good Christian that you say you are, Tiger Dan, you'll apologize for calling me stupid and a liar and anything else that you said. But I've actually done tons of research, just like all of the other flat earthers that I know of have been looking at this stuff for a long time. And we simply didn't search for something on YouTube and then claim it to be a fact. That's not good research. So I'm going to show you some different things about Antarctica, so hopefully you see the difference between good research and just typing something into YouTube and saying, oh, there's the proof. Anybody can go to Antarctica because these people say they've been there. So let's begin.
The Antarctic doesn't exist, and that it's the outer perimeter of this flat Earth. It's nonsense. It's foolishness, and I'm ashamed to have gone along with it because this is the first time that I'm looking into this.
It is not foolishness. Believing what you see or read without doing any more further research, that is what foolishness is. As far as my research goes, it is certainly not a continent. That is the conclusion you will come to if you only do basic research. A little in-depth research will reveal the truth, and that's why I'm here. So, first thing we should pay attention to, you'll notice that the planes have a peculiar thing missing: windows. So, when do you want to fly people to a certain location and not have them look out the windows unless you are fooling them about where they are flying? Let's look at the Mercator map on the screen now, the projection. What happens if you travel west from America? You'll pop out on the other side, correct? Over by Japan. Now, what happens if you travel north? Do you pop out the bottom? If you travel south, do you pop out the top? No, you don't. So, interesting little tidbit of information there. Keep that in your mind. The point that you made that I found concerning was you said that it must be a continent because people build huts there and the news goes there. And the news also went to San Bernardino, and that wasn't a real event. And the news also went to Sandy Hook. That wasn't a real event. And people can build huts anywhere. Why would they not be able to build them on the outer edge of the flat Earth?